Hi everyone, it's Jeanne from Makers Unify. I wanted to share with you a quick video on how I took this old Valentine's decoration and turned it into a more neutral piece to match my decor. So I need to take the sign apart and to sand it and clean it up a little bit. I really wanted to put some wording in the welcome part of the sign. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to put over yet, so I didn't want the wording to show through, so I decided to sandpaper it to smooth it all out. So I was trying to think of a romantic poem or something I could place on this part of the sign, and I ended up coming up with a quote from The Princess Bride, which is one of my favorite movies, and I'll put the quote below in the notes for you if you're interested in reading it. It took me a while for me to figure out the correct sizing to fit on the piece, so I ended up using word art to manipulate the wording to a shape that worked. So I traced it out and I cut it out, and I ended up painting the middle piece, even though I'm going to put the piece of paper with the poem over it, but I just wanted to make sure that it was smooth. So then I also painted the top and the bottom part with some sample paint that I had on hand. It is a light beige color, so I ended up adding a little bit of a red acrylic paint to give it more of a pink tint. So here I am with the pink color that I picked out. It's hard to see on the camera, but it turned out really nice. So then, I'm just painting all this up, and I will go ahead with the heat gun a little bit later to try and make sure that it's all dried up. I printed the poem on a beige color paper, but I decided to distress it a little with a distress oxide to make it look aged, to go with the time period of The Princess Bride, which was loosely set in medieval times. And here I am going over with the heat gun just to be safe. I then used a Mod Podge to adhere the poem, and I then, after I Mod Podged it on, I put it on top and I poked some holes where the string goes through, and then I Mod Podged it again on the top just to make sure that it was all set in there and sealed and safe. So now the decision is how I'm going to dress up the sign. I pulled out a couple of flowers as well as paper flowers to see what would work, and I decided to use the button off of the old bow to place in the middle of the paper flowers, which you'll see in a minute. So here are the paper flowers that I decided to use. So I just dump them out and try and come up with a design that I like. Took a couple of tries to go through and figure out what I wanted to do, as the creative process does. I wanted to dress up the sides, so I'm using this nautical cord to glue around the sign. I tried using the glue gun to adhere the rope as well as Elmer's Glue All, but neither of those worked very well. So I ended up using Gorilla Super Glue Gel. That's why I'm wearing the gloves, so my fingers don't get stuck. This glue worked out very well, and as I made my way around the sign, I would do small sections of it at a time to make sure that it adhered pretty good. So this whole process, I'm going to speed it up for you. because it took a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that it was adhered very well on there so it wouldn't fall off. I think I sped this up to like 1,000 and I couldn't speed it up anymore. So I'm almost done. I just needed to add take the top string off so that I could put the cord around it, otherwise it would have gotten stuck on top and it wouldn't have looked very good. So I'm going all the way around the corners and making sure that it's on there good so it's not going to come off. I'm really glad that I didn't use the hot iron because it was just peeling right off once I tried it with the hot iron, with the glue gun. So I'm almost done. I just needed to add the top string back on so I could hang the sign, and then I need to decide how I would arrange the flowers. The process seems to take a lot longer than you would think, as you try to figure out how I want the sign to look. So now I'm putting the flowers on, trying to figure this out, where I want them. The one flower almost looks like a soccer ball on the bottom. What color I want to use. So I ended up using the Gorilla gel glue to glue all these down. I used the paper glue for the flowers, and then I used the Gorilla glue gel for the button and to put this paper flower on the sign itself, just to make sure that it would adhere well and not fall off. So here's the before and here's the after coming up. So what do you think? I also made the book bundle to match. I just love to dress up my buffet for the seasons with different craft projects. It gives me a sense of happiness when I look over at what I've created and inspires me to keep crafting. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you like this sign transformation.